Hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm your mindfulness messenger for today, and I help women who are feeling stuck or feeling isolated or trapped and give them the tools to shift out of that so that they can experience the freedom and desire that they really want. So let's get to it. I wanted to talk about vision and how you want certain things in your life and you want to change your life, but how do I actually do it? And how do I actually commit to it to where I could see the changes? And this is such a beautiful question. There's so much information out there that it becomes overwhelming, and there's kind of this like paralysis of like, well, why is it even worth it to do it? Because there's so much out there, or you're even like committed to just staying where you are right now. It's safe and it's familiar, and like trying something new actually feels harder than it feels like it should be. Another thing too that's about this question that I feel like is important to address is that this information kind of soaks in our brain and in our head, and it lives up here, and we commit to doing something, and we try to do something, but then you don't actually do it. When the moment comes, we don't actually follow through with that. So it's not just about your head. There's a second step to it, which I'm going to go ahead and explain in this video. So this video is all about creating that vision that you want and then implementing it into your life to the point where you can see those changes and you're like, fuck yes, like I made it. So the first thing I want to talk about is what I mentioned earlier, is that there's two parts. So the first part is mentally being aware and like wanting to change, right? And being like, okay, like I know about these affirmations. I have this vision board and Post-its on the wall. That's all about mental. The second is actually somatic, and that means body. So in your body, you need to register these things. So when you have your Post-its on your wall, instead of just reading them and then moving on, reflect on how it makes you feel. Your job is to feel that through your body. And what you'll notice is whenever you look at that Post-it and pause and feel it in your body, it's actually going to create more momentum because you're feeling the way that you want to feel. This can also be with your vision board too. And I love vision boards because vision boards is a really helpful tool for me, and also just like fun to make. It's very visual. But with vision boards, when you're making them, you have an intention, right? There's a reason why you pick that picture. It makes you feel good. This is where you want to go. It makes you feel a certain way. So when you look at that picture again and again, you may see it may not have the same punch as it did the first time. And that's okay, because that's just like us humans. But you can kind of self-source that and create that and remind yourself, why did I put this picture on my vision board? Why was this important to me? Just remind yourself of that like freedom and that like love or joy or whatever pleasant emotion that brought you. Remind yourself of that goal or that instance. From that, you can actually go forward and be in the mindset that you want to be in. Again, it is about like the somatic body level too, and that's so important. I want to mention too that you can also flip these. So right, it's mental and then somatic. So like you're thinking about the feelings you want to feel and then you're feeling them. I would even suggest flipping it. What feeling do you want to feel? Okay, joy. So immediately feel that in your body. A memory or the affirmation that gives you the joy that you want. Think of that. And don't leave until you feel that feeling. Do not leave that moment until you feel that feeling. This is important because you as an individual, you committed to creating this new vision. And these moments are when it matters the most. Feeling that and staying with that emotion is actually proving to you, and you're consciously creating that in that small moment. And the more these small moments kind of add up, it's so funny, the more they add up, the more practice you get into it, and actually easier can kind of get. You can even just look at the picture on your vision board and then completely like, you don't even need to think, you feel that emotion already. Those points I really wanted to clarify before moving forward. Okay, so I have 4 things that helped me in my personal development journey, that helped me commit and really see changes and change my life. For reference, I was someone who felt stuck and trapped and isolated, and I didn't know what to do, and I was kind of sick of like where I was in my life, though I didn't know how to get out of it. I felt like everything was out of my control and everything was external, and I didn't know how to move out of it. And these tools reminded me to keep moving forward and helped me to acknowledge the changes that I saw, and really helped acknowledge like yeah, I am, it's hard, it looks hard, and sometimes it is hard, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just like giving yourself those 15 minutes to just relax, go on TikTok for a bit, or take a nap, or do some self-care. So the first thing I want to point out is the willingness. So when you want something different in your life, you need to be willing to change things in your life right now. If you want to become more confident, you need to be willing to be more confident. When you are more confident in situations, things may come up, like fear of judgment from other people, or fear of rejection. Now you're at a standstill because you're like, I didn't know this was gonna happen. I thought I could just feel confident. It's that question again of, are you willing? Are you willing to be confident? Just asking yourself again, are you willing to let go of those fears and be in that vision of confident? The second thing is journal. So journal about your fears and what's coming up for you. When you're committed to this like new vision that you want, there's going to be things that pop up, and these things popping up are actually the things that have stopped you in the past and kind of sabotaged you. So it's important to like take the time, and if you're feeling it in your head and you're feeling like just like all over the place or preoccupied, just write it down. And then you'll see where your mind's been at, what your mind's been preoccupied with. And so when you journal and you continuously journal, you may see patterns that you didn't actually see before. And this is just a great way to also kind of separate yourself from you as a person, and then from you and the things that are stopping you. The third thing is create your vision. And I already said this before, but really creating your vision, whatever works for you visually, like a vision board, brain dumping, anything. And really, really get specific, because if you're vague, that's your brain kind of being like, oh, I can like not really commit, or like I can just kind of wiggle myself out of here. Being as specific as possible will actually help you in the long run when you're in those moments where fear is creeping up, and really understand the clarity of it. Ask yourself, let's say if you are confident, what would you as a confident person do in the morning? What would you do in the afternoon? What activities would you do? How would you talk to yourself? Things like that. And then the fourth thing I want to mention, which may actually be the most important, is commitment. And commitment means accountability. And it means when you don't do something or you don't follow through, taking a step back and seeing why. It's not about judgment. It's not about criticism. It's not about shame. It's not at that at all. Seeing the situation, seeing yourself with compassion and love and grace, and seeing what has like stopped you before, now it's actually stopping you now, and then going ahead and recommitting. Commitment can also look like in the situations where you're choosing to be that confident person, the fear of rejection or the fear of people's opinions of you are in the way. Are you committed to your vision? Are you committed to your vision? Yes. Then what is the right answer? Then what is the answer that you want to go with? So those are 4 things that'll help kind of anchor you in those times of like despair, and in those times, in those predictable times that are going to come up when you don't want to carry through with your vision. But I promise you, if you implement definitely 4 of these, if not 1 or 2 of these, you will see changes throughout the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And you will slowly see your vision come to life. So I hope this information helped. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or if anything in your life that's helped you really commit and go for that vision, and then you've seen those visions afterward. I would love to hear even just your story, would be amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I have a free meditation for you guys below in the information box, so go ahead and click on that. It's 6 minutes, and thank you so much again. Have a good one.